Good morning from day 12 of our Antarctic adventure. This morning starts a peaceful morning, and yet there's no wind, there's no waves, and no sounds. Everything is totally peaceful here. It was nice getting up, walking around, looking off the ship. There wasn't even any people up yet. This is probably 5 o'clock in the morning wherever I took this. After all, we do have midnight sun here, so you could stay up all night if you wanted to and sit outside. As you've heard me say before, I get up early. Every morning, usually I would get up and do 3 or 4 laps around the ship, walking around, getting a little exercise, talking to the employees. But today took a little bit longer. It was such an awesome view outside that I kept stopping and looking at everything around me. This morning on the What's Happening, I find something a little more my style. No, it's not pickleball. This morning, I find Tai Chi. Up around the pool, there's a sliding roof that closes off, so the hot tubs heat the inside area around the pool. And people do Tai Chi in the mornings. It's an exercise, getting a little stretch and relaxing. But the music they had was real calming, and after looking around at everything around us, this is more my style. And while sitting in the room getting our bearings straight, figuring out what we're going to do today, this is our path last night through all the bad weather. We just kind of did donuts out in Antarctica, but it's still freezing cold. But I glanced out the window and started seeing wildlife, penguins playing around outside. And who would have knew today we have neighbors? Yeah, there's another cruise ship next to us. Who would have thought that? This is the first boat that we've seen in a while. And a whale popped up. We hurry up outside and go all the way up to deck 10, because that's been so far the best wildlife viewing spot. And as soon as we get up there, we check out the scenery for a little bit, but then spot penguins playing in the water. I tried to slow this down and zoom in on them a little bit so you could see them. But these suckers are fast. They zip around in the water like nothing. And they are not afraid of the ship apparently, because whenever I first saw them, they were probably only 30 or 40 feet out, it seemed like, away from the ship. But then they start darting across like a little porpoise jumping out of the water. You can see their little fins flapping in the air as they jump up in the air. And in just a matter of a minute or two, they've zoomed on, out of sight. I took a picture of this video and zoomed in, trying to get a picture of the penguin jumping out of water. It's not very clear, but yeah, it's all I could get for right now. Hopefully we get some better footage of this. And there's other wildlife in the area. This is an Arctic petrel. And after looking at all the wildlife in the area, we almost forgot about our new neighbors. This is a ship ferrying people over to the Argentinian Antarctic Research Station. Not sure if it's passengers or if it's scientists, but it was cool to see them go ferrying folks back and forth on the Zodiacs. This is a giant petrel known for eating penguins, and he's looking for a snack at a nearby penguin colony.
The first one we saw was the Argentinian coast. look around the station. And throughout the
Little penguin swimming.
the Chilean flight. So the plan is we going to be fixing start on Holland, and we'll be making our way back to Alpha.
He's still there.
And making our way towards the Greenland Channel. Again, outstanding scenery in that location, but I think we can say that we had a very successful morning here in Paradise Island. There were cleanup conditions yesterday, and with the tranquil waters and here enabling us to see humpback.
Yeah, everybody's enjoying it.
And this is my best picture of a whale so far. And it was an excellent picture. I slowed it down to a quarter speed so that you could see a little bit better. And some places, scientists could look at the picture of the tail of a whale and give you the name, the age, and sometimes even close to the weight of the whale just by looking at a tail. I did this in Alaska, and they came back with the exact name of the whale just by looking at his tail and how old he was.
Go quickly through it and then you can enjoy it. We're going to go pretty deep and then turn around, so it's going to be pretty cool. Yesterday, what a day it was. We had around 55 knots of wind, snowstorm, reduced visibility, so I made the decision to leave the fjords that was full of ice and head for open waters and then drift. Once in a while we were slamming, but that's normal because of the wave patterns. Then this morning at 5 o'clock I was back on the bridge, and the weather started to come down a little bit, but more importantly the visibility started improving. So then at 5:15 we started moving, and we are on schedule now for Paradise Bay. And then later on we will do Neumayer Channel from the north, the most scenic part. And then we go to Cooverville, so it's going to be a fun day today. So yeah, something interesting. You see on the top 293.5, that is the heading of the ship. That is, if you stand on the bridge, you look at that mast, that is where the ship is pointing. The number underneath is 272.8, that is a 20-degree drift angle. That means that the ship is moving with a 20-degree drift angle. If you have to avoid ice, small pieces of ice, big pieces of ice, that is very difficult to do with a 20-degree drift angle. So when we started seeing that, we decided to go out. Yeah, the wind's 41.8 knot at that time. During the night, wind gusts up to 60 knots. So therefore, it was a good call to go to open waters. When I took this, it was 53.5 knots and some current. What is very challenging is when you are in open waters that you have to track the icebergs and see how fast they come at you, or if they come or they go away from you. So average, the ice was coming at us with a speed of 0.3. We calculated it manually, and then we double checked with our sensors, and they matched, so that's always good. Okay, this was from the bridge. If your flag is like this, then you know that your bow is in the wind. As soon as the bow is in the wind, you can... My officers like to play with the thrusters. There we go. Yeah, so it's very important. This ship has a total windage area of 8,500 square meters. Yeah, that is more than the tall ship in the world. A tall ship with these winds would not put out all their sails. However, we cannot reduce our windage, so it's very important to always have the bow in the wind. We stayed on joystick the entire night, and it was pretty smooth. Let's scare them. Hey Calvin, I'm on stage, so easy with the thruster.
We'll be on the first one.
Yeah, so somebody's gonna get demoted. Where's my assistant?
Lost his
Can you actually see through that thing? Okay. Cooverville Island on the bottom left. Yeah, so we will be there this afternoon.
And right after the captain's presentation, it's back to looking at wildlife and watching their scenery go by. And still awesome scenery everywhere. Here you couldn't see how tall the mountains were because, well, the clouds are just too low. The mountains, they go right up into the clouds. And in no time, it's time for dinner. But don't worry, it doesn't get dark until never here. So we had plenty of time for light outside, which was good because as we're eating dinner, we're pulling up to a penguin rookery. I was hoping to see this, but I wasn't expecting it during dinner. So between appetizers and entrees, I'll run outside and get a few pictures. But I'll show all those right after dinner. For an appetizer, we both had the spring rolls. For the entree, I had this strip loin steak, and Cheryl, she had the orange glazed chicken, both of which were excellent. And for dessert, we both had the carrot cake. And behind me is Penguin Island. I don't know the official name of it, but it's full of penguins. And I got a few videos to show you what they look like. It's they said it's 12,000 penguins, and it smells like a lot more than 12,000. Smells like a bad sushi restaurant, but excellent viewing of the penguins. We got within 100 yards of these penguins, so very close. We'll show you some videos. Now, being this close to the penguins is really cute, but I have to tell you, they are some of the most foul-smelling animals you'll ever see or smell. Whenever that we got this close, hopefully the wind wasn't blowing, because they reeked. Now, we were having dinner whenever that we came up to this penguin colony, and I think we smelt them before we knew that they were there. They were bad, but they are so cute, running around, looking, hopping around on the rocks. We could sit there for hours looking at them. And luckily, we finished dinner before we had to go outside and look. Not very often do you see a Coast Guard vessel. This is the first one we've seen. And today's employee of today is Mr. Bagas.
Hey, hello.
He's with housekeeping.
Yes, I'm housekeeping attendant.
What all do you do with housekeeping?
We are taking care of all the area of the ship. Yeah.
Wiping everything down to make sure you stay safe. No germs. So thank you, Mr. Bagas.
You're welcome, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye. And right after talking to Mr. Bagas, I heard a loud rumble and managed to catch an avalanche coming off of the mountains. It's kind of hard to see, but that is snow rolling down the mountain that fell from the top. And you could hear it way out where we were. We were at least a half a mile away, but we could hear it and see it. In addition, there were several whales playing in the area. These are all humpback whales, but there were probably 3 or 4 of them, all in the same area feeding. And of course had to stay around to catch the little tail go up in the air. This is typically the sign of a deep dive where they're going to stay underwater for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Who knows? But we caught their little tails going up in the air. And this may look just like another stain in the snow, but it's actually a penguin trail. The penguins are coming up out of the water and going to their chicks high up in the mountains. So far up, I couldn't catch the mountain and the chicks, but this is where they were going at. All the little chicks were up here. And the ship is just easing along through this area. This is where the whales were on the other side of the boat. The penguins are right here. And this is also, of course, where the Avalanche was. So a whole lot happening in this little area. I was glad he was going slow. Just more time to bring it all in. And high up on this black ridge is another penguin colony. And as I zoom in, you could just barely make out the chicks and the penguins high up on the top. And that's an end to day number 12 of our Antarctic adventure. Stay tuned because there's still more days ahead as we continue through Antarctica. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. It helps the channel out and lets us know how many people are watching. Thanks for watching.